Good morning, everybody. According to the official timekeeping system of the United States of America, my Verizon cell phone, it's an Apple 15, not paid off yet, not for a couple of years. It's exactly 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Pacific. And if you're listening to us from the great states of Hawaii or Alaska, folks, it's a wee bit early in the morning there. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm your co-host, Mark Kiner. It's Blue Ash, Ohio. It's sunny skies. It's going to be in the 90s today. Jim, how's your weather in Ross Township?
Exactly the same as yours.
It's going to be in the 90s for a while, and I found out someplace in Iowa, it's going to be 109 degrees. Can you believe that?
Yet on the other side of that coin, somewhere in California, they got about 4 inches of snow over the weekend.
Now, as always, the Social Security Open Forum is brought to you by the National Social Security Advisor Certificate Program. We offer our class 3 ways: live in-person, live webinars, and taped on-demand videos. And let me tell you, we're going to be in Kansas City in a couple of days. We have a class on August 29th. I think that's Thursday, followed by a class in Cincinnati on September 6th. And next year, Jim, we're going to be in 6 cities next year. And I hope I get them all: Phoenix, Orlando, Chicago, Cincinnati, Charlotte. Jim, did I get 6 or did I miss one?
Well, Philadelphia was one.
Philadelphia. That one is in December. We'll be announcing the schedule and the times and dates sometime in the near term, but that's where we'll be. Hope to see you one of our upcoming classes. All right, the drill. If you have a question and you want to go to the front of the line, just raise your hand and I will call on you, maybe. If not, we'll just kind of go through the NSSA squares. Start with my top left. Philip, you're the first one to log in today. What's on your mind this morning?
I'm just listening today. Sure.
1 second, I'm muting some people. Go ahead, Philip.
I'm listening today.
Okay, thanks, Philip. Appreciate it. Teresa, you're next. Teresa, I need to congratulate you. Your Pittsburgh Pirates won yesterday on a walk-off home run against our Cincinnati Reds. Congratulations on that.
That was amazing because they have not been doing very well at all, but they took, 3 of the 4 or 4 of the 5 games from your team there?
Yes. You're not coming in too well, Teresa, but yes, you won. 3 out of 4. Congratulations.
I'm actually just listening today. I've got nothing pressing.
Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. Let's go to Lynn. Hi, Lynn. I see your pool in the background. What's on your mind today? Okay, I'll go to Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hey, good morning. Just listening in today. Thanks.
If everyone's only listening in, we won't get any questions today. All right, Sue, you're next, Sue. What's on your mind today, Sue? I muted you, so you need to unmute yourself.
How about that? Is that
Yeah,
right?
you're good. Go ahead, Sue. What's on your mind today?
Well, you can always call the show just listening, okay? But I'm always focused on spouses, okay?
Mhm.
Because half the sky is held up by women, okay? So here's the thought. The generic one right now, the first question is this: partnerships, male, female, male, male, female, female. Just wondering, when they say spouses, does it matter what genders with Social Security? Just curious.
No, same-sex marriages were codified by President Biden during his term. So same-sex marriage couples have the same rights as other couples have.
Okay, so here's my question then. A spouse is 57, female. Husband has still working. He turned on his Social Security, born 1954, so at full retirement age. So rule of thumb with you two there, what's the best strategy? She's 57. She may not retire until, say, 62, 63, or, full retirement age 67. So turning on strategy, how would you two look at it?
Well, of course, she can't apply for anything till she's 62. So that's a given right there. So, you need to look at the figures. One strategy is she files for her own as soon as she can. And then, of course, at the same time, she'll be eligible for the possible spousal boost, which is half of his PIA less her PIA. So when she files, she has to take her own benefit and the spousal boost because he's already receiving his benefit. So it probably makes sense for her to claim as early as she can, probably at the age of 62 in 1 month.
Okay, and by doing that, they'll do the calculation about her own, and then the difference between her husband, the spousal boost for half of his versus hers.
Half of his PIA less her PIA equals the spousal boost. Both parts of her benefit will be reduced for age, of course.
Now, what happens when she reaches full retirement age? Nothing. right?
Nothing.
Okay,
No.
so what if she
Rachel,
waits?
it's Bruce Casserman. I tried reaching you on your direct.
One
number
second,
again.
Bruce, you need to
Unfortunately-
mute yourself on that one. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If she waits then till full retirement age, does that simply give her more flexibility as to her own?
No, doesn't give her any flexibility, but her benefit does go up because she's now at full retirement age and it won't be reduced for age. No more flexibility though. She has to take her own plus the spousal boost when she files. No
Okay.
matter when she files.
So there's no way of her really, benefiting from half of his in the beginning, and then at full retirement age,
No,
just
you-
numbers keep increasing by 8%.
Now you owe me a $50 Amazon gift card. Because
I
I
do.
always say if somebody asks me if they can take a spousal benefit and wait until they turn 70 to take their own, that person owes me a $50 Amazon gift card.
Okay, thank you very much then.
Anything else?
No, $50 is fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Joe, you're next, Joe. You raised your hand.
So I had a client passed away tragically about a month ago. He is 73, was 73. His benefit is $3,300 a month. His wife is 63. She is currently receiving $800 a month. And my question is, when they do the calculation, what should she expect her benefit to be? The total. So 3,300 for him now. He passed away. 800 for her at 63. And so she's gonna apply for the maximum benefit she could get.
Yeah, her benefit will be based off of 100% of his, but it'll be reduced for age. So about 63, just off the top of my head, I'm going to say somewhere around 85 to 87%. I'd have to look at the chart to be sure. But it'll be based off of his. They'll continue to pay her on her own and they'll just add to it to bring it up to whatever percentage she's eligible for off of his work record.
Okay, all right. That's what I told her, so. Good.
Well, you were right.
Anything else, Joe?
Mm.
Okay. Let's see, Doug Atkins, you're next.
Hey, I'm just listening. Hopefully other people have got questions too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
sorry
it's
about
okay,
that.
but the purpose of the open forums is not only just to ask questions, it's to learn from the questions that are asked by their other advisors. So I'm
Yeah.
good with that also, believe me. Thank you,
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah, I just learned from the previous question, just had a client pass away last week, so I benefited already this morning. Thank you.
Believe me, every time Jim opens his mouth and says something, I learn something new. Let's go to Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
Good morning. I have nothing here in Minnesota except our air temperature today is supposed to be 105 degrees. So a little hotter than Iowa.
Wow, 105. Wow. I don't think we're getting, I think we're going to be in the mid 90s. Okay, thanks, Lynn. Lynn Edwards, you unmuted yourself. Do you want to say something now?
No, I just couldn't figure out how to get the mute button to work. So
Okay.
I'm on my cell phone when I'm on vacation, but I didn't want to miss this.
Yeah, I see the pool in the background. Thank you, Lynn. Let's go to Bob. Hi, Bob.
I am, it's a common theme here. I am just listening today.
That's okay. Thanks, Bob. Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
So, I don't know how to, well, my first thing is about Irma, so I'll come back to that one. Currently, I have a husband and wife, couple that are clients of ours, and Mr. will be turning, they both have their own businesses, and he will be turning 70 next year, and I, of course, told him he does not need to delay beyond that. He needs to file and take his benefit at 70, because there's no benefit for that. His wife will turn 68 next year and is anticipating sale of her business in the tune of $1 million is what she's coming up with on that. Basically, there's zero cost basis, so it'll all be earnings.
Well,
So
no, not really
anyway,
earnings. It could be,
Huh?
it could be capital gain.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So,
not subject to social security tax.
but the
Mhm.
income part of it is going to have an impact on it, and that's where, with what income is and Irma
Yeah.
and all of that is what I'm like trying to figure out. And I'm sure, so if she has work stoppage, we would be able to file and hopefully get that taken care of. Yes?
Yeah, if she's selling her business, I mean, she's retiring for the most part. So she should be able to file the form SSA-44 to
Yep.
appeal the Irma surcharge.
What happens if the, because we're trying to work through on how she's going to structure it, and whether it's a lump sum or if it's done over time, will that have any impact on like filing for Irma? Would
Well,
we file
let me
multiple
say,
times?
we can't answer tax related questions.
Okay,
But, you know, if it's an installment sale, then they'll be able to spread the gain over the years of the installment sale. But what qualifies as an installment sale is not something I can discuss, because I don't keep up with tax laws anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we would be able to still file for Irma, and if it went down, we could refile, right? Is
Yeah,
there
but
limitations on that?
Jim, I'll let you kind of respond to that, buddy.
You just have to file each year. You can still use the same life-changing event, but she would have to file each year, because each year they look at it. They look at 2 years back and they'll make the adjustment. So she'd have to file a couple times.
Okay,
But of course, though, if she's receiving income over time, then it's possible that her earned income, not earned income, her total income may be too high each year. Could be. Depends on
Yeah.
how high it is each year.
okay. And then I guess all of that kind of ties, so with where their situation is, it ties into filing and then also Irma, so. But that, I would say that probably answers my question.
Okay. I'm always wary of any tax related questions. Okay.
And we
Lisa.
can't fill out tax forms, but we can help out with the Irma form.
Yeah, you
So,
can.
but I guess,
not us.
yeah, because, yeah, we need their tax people to do that, but thank you.
You're welcome. I have not completed a tax form for a client since I sold my accounting practice back in 2012, 12 years ago. Gary, you raised your hand. Go for it, Gary.
Good morning, everyone. Enjoying this forum. So we actually have a tax practice. I do wealth management, but in my office, we have enrolled agents that do taxes for clients, and I can never get a straightforward answer. And Mark and James, this is not a tax question. So a client of mine had worked for a company for several years, and at the age of 55 decided to start his own business. And it's been very successful in his third year. His wife has not worked since she was 22, she decided that she was going to give up her career and raise the family. So as an LLC, he has decided that because he has enough quarters and maximum income for his Social Security, basically, that he would pay his wife instead, so that her Social Security would increase. And I can never get a straight answer as to what that amount the maximum amount would be. One enrolled agent said should be no more than, because you have to pay employer self-employment tax on top of that. So that's the tax part of it. So
I was going to say that, Gary. That's the
I know.
tax part of it.
I want to answer tax questions. So is there like a formula or something where, you know, if I want to pay my spouse or someone in my family who's part of my business legitimately, his wife is working for him now, doing things, how much should I pay her in order for her Social Security to increase?
Jim?
Yeah, that is a tough one to answer, because the real answer is it depends. It depends on what earnings she's had in the past. Does she have 0 years? Is she going to be replacing those 0 years? So probably
many 15 0 years, and many years of making like $3,000, $5,000.
So probably the best way to do that is to go to the Social Security website and go to their calculator and add in her earnings, and then you could project earnings into the future at different levels and see what it does to her full retirement age benefit.
Okay, I did not know that was on the Social Security site. So great, I will go there.
Yeah, scroll down to, I think it's, if you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. If you have any trouble finding the calculators, let me know and I can send you the link.
Okay. I have one more question. It's such a basic question that I need, and everybody's gonna look at me going, what are you talking about? So this client still believes that he's 66, his wife is 62. He's gonna wait until he's fully at 70 to get his, you know, the maximum benefit. He believes that his wife can file at 62 and she will get the maximum benefit at age 70 for her. And that's incorrect.
Yeah, if she files at 62, she's going to take a reduction for age, and that's going to be permanent.
That's what I keep telling them.
Yeah.
Now I heard it, so I can retell it to him again that I heard it from the bosses.
Yeah, tell him to stick his hand out, and then when he does, smack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Nancy, you raised your hand. Go ahead, Nancy.
Yeah, it's not Nancy. I'm just on Nancy's computer. This is Mike Moss.
Sorry. Oh, Mike. Okay.
Anyway, I have a client that is divorced, was married well over 10 years. And so the way I understand it, she can apply, and she may be applying early before her age 67 or FRA for her husband's, you know, half of her husband's, because it's going to be considerably higher than hers. And so the question comes in at, he just had a baby, he's like 55, and so she thinks he's going to be working well past age 70. And so his FRA is going to be very high because he's a physician. He won't have 35 years in of maxing out, so it won't be the maximum amount, but it's going to continue to go up for him every year he delays from 67 to 70, as far as, because he's going to have low years taken out and max years put in.
Mm-hmm.
So will hers go up as well?
Yeah. Yeah. PIA, his spousal benefit is based on PIA. That's the full retirement age benefit. And so as PIA goes up due to increased earnings, spousal benefit goes up accordingly.
And that PIA goes up after age 67 because he's working from 68 and 69 and 70.
Goes up to age 150. As long as you have earned income like Ethel. Ethel passed away 2 weeks before turning age 108. If she was working at age 106 or 107, those earnings would be taken into account and may increase her PIA. So it doesn't matter what age you are. Earnings, new earnings always come into play and they may increase benefits. But if they do increase benefits, anything based on that work record, like a child's benefit or a spousal benefit, will go up also.
Okay, and then so if she takes it early though, like if she turns hers on at 65, for example, her Social Security and half of his, that way she'll get a reduced amount. And is that reduced amount like 4% less because, you know, his increase is 8% per year, or is it because she gets half? Does that seem about right?
Where the DRCs have nothing to do with it. She doesn't participate in his DRCs until he passes away. So, Jim, I'll let you finish the answer. I know what I would say, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, you were doing just fine. Yeah, as his PIA increases, her benefit will increase. But as Mark mentioned, delayed retirement credits increases his monthly benefit amount, not his PIA. So that doesn't affect her spousal benefit. Now, if she takes her own benefit before full retirement age, then that portion of the calculation is reduced for age, and it's always reduced for age. And so she would not end up with half of his PIA.
Right,
But
but she gets a delayed retirement credit for her own from 62 to 67 if she waits.
well, it's
Okay.
not a delayed retirement credit. It's just not, it's less of
full
a
benefit.
reduction for age.
Yeah.
Right, it's not full benefit, but
Yeah.
but that increases every year from age 62 to 67, approximately 8%, right?
It's about 6.5% from 62 to full retirement age.
Okay.
It's based on each month that she delays. But it's about 6.5% each year.
So since it's on his half of the ex-spousal benefit, is it only, 3.25% increase that she's given up?
I've never figured out what the yearly amount is for the spousal portion. But if she takes on her own, if he's receiving, she'll have to take the spousal benefit at the same time.
But they're ex-spouse, and so it doesn't matter when he turns his on then, correct?
Well, that's true. Since if they've been divorced for more than 2 years, when she files, she'll get her own plus the divorced spouse benefit, each reduced for whatever her age is. And I'm not sure, it's a little more aggressive of a reduction for the spousal or ex-spousal benefit, but not a whole lot more. So probably more than 4% a year, but.
Okay. And so I actually have to run that through some kind of calculator. I use the Nationwide 360 Social Security Analyzer. I think that has the capability of doing that.
Yeah, that's the calculators are nice when they're set up to show what the benefits would be. But once she applies, then that's an application for her own plus the divorced spouse independently entitled divorced spouse benefit.
When it's 5 or 7 years away, how do you get the divorced spouse's numbers as far as, because, he's not going to give them to her.
Yeah, Social Security will give it to her.
Okay, great.
Yeah, she just has to show that they were married 10 years and been divorced for 2 or more, and
Okay.
they'll give her the numbers.
Good to go. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. Lee, I don't think I got to you, Lee Johnson.
That's okay. I was trying to unmute myself. I was thinking of Joe's question earlier. You and Jim helped me answer this question. In order to max out the spousal benefit, when you have a spouse who's deceased, so I have a friend this has happened to, she needs to wait to her full retirement age because she's still working and she would be affected by the annual earnings test.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
It's
the earnings test
different.
applies to everybody, even
Exactly.
surviving spouses.
Okay, gotcha. And Joe's is different because obviously the wife was not working, right, Joe?
The wife actually is working, but she's making less than
Gotcha.
$18,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lee.
Mhm.
Bruce, you're next, Bruce. Oh, it was not Bruce. Sorry. Let's go, Sarah. She raised her hand. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, and good morning. One question I have is, and I kind of just want to verify this, but let's say we've got a husband and a wife. The wife is the lower income earner, but turns her benefits on at age 62. And she also, and her husband is, let's say, younger. So when she is eligible for the spousal boost, once the husband turns his benefits on, what does she need to do with anything?
file.
So she does need to refile, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, she needs to file for the spousal boost. And you do it by two ways: contacting SSA, give them a call, and they take the application over the phone, or you can go down to SSA. You can schedule an appointment, go down to SSA, or just make an unannounced visit, and I hope they take you. But let me just say, you need to file for the spousal boost.
Okay, and do you know what form that is, just out of curiosity?
Jim?
An SSA 2.
Not
Great.
that I would know.
Hmm.
Jim, somebody asked the question, not today here, but earlier. Husband files, wife is eligible for the boost. Should she wait a little while to file for the boost, or should she file? Can she file when he files?
Technically, she can file when he files. They won't do anything with it until they get his portion processed. So it doesn't hurt to wait, but you don't have to. It can be, if they're both going to file online, they can do it at the same time.
That's what I told this advisor, but I wasn't positive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, Bruce, you're next, Bruce.
Okay, thank you for reaching out to me. Just wanted to let you know I'm working on it with a client just right now. She's 63. He's 66, but he's a naturalized citizen, and he also has AML right now, and he's sick, and that's really it. So what I advise him to do is wait until he was able to get his full Social Security benefit, which would be at 66 years and 10 months, as opposed to getting it now before they went ahead and declared Social Security. And I told her to get a spousal benefit, which she could then turn off when she turns 70, and she can collect the 70 get full Social Security benefit at 70, being that her Social Security benefit will be higher than his. Jim, do you think that was the right advice that I gave them? Just want to confirm, everything.
Yeah, it's fine with him, but with her, she's not able to do that. When she files, she has to take her own first. So she files for anything, she'll file for retirement. And then if there's a spousal boost payable, she could receive that, but she can't take the spousal benefit and then wait till 70 to take her own.
She can't. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Bruce. Mark, I think you're next, Mark, with the K.
Just listening and learning this morning. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Jamie, you're next, Jamie.
Good morning. Same thing. Just listening this morning. Thank you.
Okay. Jeffrey Schaberg.
Yes, good morning. I do have a question. It's kind of I'd like some confirmation on, we have clients that most of them have a child with a disability, so they collect childhood disability benefits at some point off of a parent's record. And one of the things, several of our clients have 2 or more disabled children, and we looked it up. There's something called splitting that's not allowed. And I want to confirm that if each parent is collecting their own record, their own retirement benefits, can one child draw off one parent's record and the other child draw off the other parent's record so that they wouldn't meet a family maximum or get less? Like, let's say there were 3 children that met the family maximum. Could they split it so they wouldn't get that maximum?
No, that's not allowed. What they would do is they would take an application on the lower earners record, and they would be technically entitled on that record, and then they would receive off of the higher earner. But one thing that does happen when you have both parents receiving their own benefit is there's something called the combined family maximum. So because they're each receiving, and because the kids are eligible off of each record, technically, then the family maximum is going to be a lot higher. I think the maximum with the combined family max right now is, don't quote me on it, but it's around $6,800 a month, maybe. And then that's what they would split. So there is a little bit of help with that because they will increase the family maximum as opposed to just one of them having filed for benefits, but you can't split it.
Okay, and is the combined family maximum now? I know the family maximum is like 150 to 188% of the wage earners amount. Is that kind of the same as the total family maximum, or is it a different scale?
Well, it is, but normally the two added together would be more. There's the maximum to the combined family maximum, and that's around that $6,800. So it could be a little less, but it wouldn't be any more than that.
Okay, and is there any other way that you can get a higher benefit for the children off of different benefits, or is it just they're grouped together and whichever they are drawing off of, they've all got to drop off of that benefit?
Yeah.
Or any other ones you know of that would benefit them more?
It's if they're eligible off of both, so it's mom and dad are for all of the kids are the same, then yeah, they're all grouped together, even if they're in different households. The one thing that would happen is if the benefit would be less than well, right now $963, then they could also get some SSI, supplemental
Right.
security income. But if they're over that 963 limit, then the SSI wouldn't be available to them.
What about a step parent and one child's living with the mom and stepdad and the other child's living with the dad and stepmom? Can they draw off a step parent separately?
They can draw off a step parent only if the step parent can be shown to have provided one half of the child support for 12 months or more. So it just depends on the income situation.
But if each of the two different disabled children each lived with a different parent and they qualified as being paid more than 50% by that family, then they could go under those different records?
Yeah, the one that had the step parent, if they're providing more than 50%, they're eligible off of that record, where the other child isn't because they're not living with them.
Yep.
And so they're going to draw off of that step parent's record.
Okay.
Or could, yeah, if it's higher.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Tell you, Jim, you definitely earned your pay today.
Yeah.
Allison, you're next. Allison, you raised your hand.
I had a question about the previous guy who was talking about the person that had AML. And what my question would be is, if he had AML, and even though if he's not full retirement age, isn't AML a presumptive condition for disability? So if he turned on his Social Security disability, then at his full retirement age, then it would just be Social Security. Would that be a thing or not really?
Well, he could file for disability. I'm not sure if it's the compassionate approval or not. It may be. But if he files for disability, even though he's not full retirement age, he would receive 100% of his benefit. It wouldn't be reduced for age. So he should go ahead and try that. Doesn't hurt to ask. He doesn't have to file for the retirement if he doesn't want to reduce benefit. Just go ahead and file the disability and see what the
and AML, that's acute myelogenous leukemia, can be considered a compassionate allowance depending on the severity of the disease. So I was just curious on that, and I may have asked this before. This is my last question. Remind me. So we're often talking to people about filing that child and care benefit. So there's the non-working spouse, we've got a disabled adult child, and they can file the child and care benefit. Can you remind me, I know that there is an earnings deduction, so if both parents are working, but somewhere along the way, we heard that you should go ahead and file for the child and care benefit, even though it would basically not be paid if the other parent's working, or there would be an earnings reduction, because later down the road, when that parent isn't working, that it's more favorable to just go ahead and file it earlier and not get paid than, because they go retroactive or something weird we heard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're hearing, but if they file and there's nothing payable because of their earnings, the family maximum still applies. So the child could be getting less because mom or dad is eligible for the child and care benefit, just because their benefit is stopped due to the earnings test doesn't increase the other person's benefit. So I would say in that situation, I wouldn't apply until they stopped work or their earnings were under the limit, because the disabled individual is going to receive less money because of the family maximum.
Let me repeat what I think I understand you just said, is that we should wait. And this is the first time we've ever heard that. But basically, even if the benefit is suspended because the parent is working, the child and care benefit is basically not being paid because the parent is working, then that very benefit that's been suspended could actually reduce the kid's benefit, is what you're saying?
Yeah, if because of the family maximum, say technically the disabled child and the parent would each be eligible for $1,200 a month, but because of the family maximum, they're each going to receive $900 a month. Well, if the parent's benefit is completely offset because of earnings, the child still just receives the $900. They don't bump them up to the 12 because mom or dad's not getting a benefit. And so they would, if mom or dad delays filing, the child gets the $1,200 until later on down the road. When they stop work, they can go ahead and file and get the child and care benefit.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Allison. Danny, are you still? Yeah, here, there you go, Danny. You're next, Danny. You're on mute though, guy. You're on mute. There you go.
Thank you very much. I have a lady that she's divorced, been for more than 10 years, and her husband's 19 years older than her ex-husband, I should say, is 19 years older. Now, he's already turned 71, and she was wondering, should she wait should she take her benefits at 62 and wait till he passes to get more, or would it be better for her to take it at 62 and take his, because his is a lot more money?
Well, what's going to happen is this. It's probably going to be better for her to claim as early as she can, probably at 62 in 1 month. She'll collect her benefit reduced for age and the spousal boost reduced for age. And then upon his passing, she'll be able to step up into his shoes and collect more money. Now, if she's under full retirement age when he passes and she wants to collect the widow benefit, at that point, it will be reduced for age. Or what she can do is just continue her own benefit until she turns full retirement age, and then switch to the widow benefit at full retirement age. So upon his passing, the spousal boost will go away, but not her own retirement benefit.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep, it does.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Danny. These are really good questions. That's the purpose of the open forum, is for you folks to ask us these types of questions that have been kind of in your mind for a while and you couldn't answer, or to ask us questions that we're just not able to cover those topics in our class. So you're doing a good job. I don't know who's, I think S.E. Frazee. Whoever you are. Can't hear you. Okay, let's go to Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, my question is, I have a grandmother who her and her husband adopted their grandson and the grandfather died. So the grandson is getting a large survivor benefit as the son. And she is nervous about taking any of that money and putting it into some kind of retirement planning, or not retirement planning, but, you know, something where she's drawing some interest in, you know, investing it. And because she was been told that it could be taken away. Do you have any comment to that?
Yeah, it won't be taken away as long as the child's needs are being met, food, clothing, and shelter. Then that's what the benefits are for. She can use that. She can take that money and put it away in a savings account. What happens, and this is probably what they're talking about, when the child reaches age 18, Social Security will say, you've saved all this money, we want it back. But what they do when you give it back is they turn right around and reissue it to the child, because the child's now age 18. And it's the child's money. She's saving it for the child. So that you don't lose it. It's just, it comes out of that account, goes back to Social Security, they reissue it to the kid.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
We get that question quite a bit, Carrie, quite a bit. Anything else, Carrie?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. I see we only have 18 minutes to go, so we'll see how many we can get through. Mark, did I get to you yet? I got to one, Mark. Don't know if I got you to you.
I'm listening in. I'm here. I'm just listening in today, learning some good stuff.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Mark.
Same here, Mark, just listening in.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Another Mark. Okay, thank you. John? Anything on your mind, John?
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. Quick question. I have a gal who was receiving SSI a while back. When she turned 65, she was on Medi-Cal. We're here in California, so it's not Medicaid, but Medi-Cal. And they took away her Medi-Cal because her income went up. After her husband passed away, she got a boost. And we're trying to figure out why, turning 65, she now has a share of cost of like $22.40, quite a bit. So I thought if you were on SSI, that didn't count towards income for Medi-Cal.
Well, that would be their rules and regulations. So I'm not familiar with what they allow. If she turns 65, did you say she was drawing from a deceased spouse, or?
Yeah, he passed away in 2019, and she went for the increase in benefit.
Okay. I mean, she should at least be eligible for Medicare. So,
well, she's definitely, yeah, she's on Medicare,
Okay.
but that, in order to get the free Medi,
yeah,
where they're telling her she's got a share of cost of 2,200, or it's quite high from what she was paying before, which was nothing. Part B would have been paid for, and now she doesn't have that much income. This is going to break her. So she's trying to figure out why she's not being able to qualify, because I thought SSI was not counted as income. And if I understand the calculation, doesn't the boost from the ex-husband who's now deceased, isn't it just a boost on top of her SSI? So the SSI would then not be counted and then her income would be only the difference of the boost?
No, it replaces the SSI. So
Oh, it does.
yeah, so if her benefit is over the $963, she's not getting any SSI any longer. She's just getting the survivor benefit.
Say that last part. If the 960, what did you say about the 900?
If her total benefit from being a surviving spouse is over 963, that completely wipes out her SSI.
So if it was only, because SSI was 963?
Well, the maximum SSI was 943. They deduct
20
dollar for dollar what she gets from Social Security, but there's a $20 disregard. So if your Social Security is under 963, you end up with a little bit of an increase. But if it's over 963, it completely wipes it out.
Gotcha. So I was sort of half right, but not completely because of the 963. So
So
yeah,
what they're counting as income is that survivor benefit.
the full survivor benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Allison, you're next, Allison.
I just wanted to say on this one, there needs to be a deeper dive on this because there are some rules and laws about moving from SSI to survivor benefits or moving from SSI to Social Security, that if you qualified for Medicaid first, that you get to keep your Medicaid. But the problem is some of the states are a real mess. Our state is a real mess with that. And sometimes they actually have to reapply. So sometimes they're erroneously canceled. But there are some rules. If she was getting SSI first and then basically moved over SSI and Medi-Cal and then basically moved over to Social Security, there are definitely laws in place that protect that person to keep their Medicaid eligibility.
We're trying to work what's it called? The CWI, the worker benefit. I'm talking to somebody who does a lot more with the Medi-Cal than I do. And we're thinking that because she had, somebody say something?
No, we're good still.
Is that where you can be disabled worker, and as long as you're making, I don't know, $10 or $20 a month, you qualify for that Medi-Cal. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Medi-Cal, so that's
okay.
But I would continue to look into it. Never take the first answer as gospel. Just particularly, you said you're working with somebody who works with that program. That's a good idea that they're going to be more familiar with the rules and the regulations.
Sure. I just didn't understand. Well, you answered part of that, the SSI, so I appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chris, you're next, Chris Libram.
Good morning, everybody. So I've got a client that wants to retire early, but he doesn't want to take the benefits until later. So by not having any earned income for a couple of years, will that affect his benefit much?
Jim?
It could affect it, probably not much because of indexing, bringing those past earnings up to today's dollars. The easiest way to see how much of an increase or decrease that it's going to be, look at the benefit statement and see what it tells them their benefit would be if they became disabled, because that's earnings through last year.
Okay.
And then compare that to what it says their earnings would be at full retirement age, just assuming the statement still is projecting earnings into the future. And that's just a quick way of seeing how much of a difference there might be.
Okay, but thanks for making it easier there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Let's go to Pam. Pamela, you're next.
Just listening in and learning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pamela. Ben, you're up.
Morning, I'm just listening in as well.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Flechette, you're next.
I think I'm good. I just have one quick question. I think it was maybe Carrie that mentioned that question. So when it comes to you receiving the spousals I guess, I know it's not death benefit, but that's all that's coming to my head right now. In order for that to occur, they should have at least reached full retirement age in order for you to actually get their benefit.
I'm not sure what you're saying there.
So like if the spouse died early, like let's say at age 50.
Oh.
And so of course their full retirement age wasn't until 70.
Well,
would not-
they'll determine a death PIA, so it'll be based on their age when they died. The surviving spouse, then it depends on their particular situation. They can file as early as age 60, but if they want to wait till their full retirement age, they can do that, and they'll receive a higher benefit. But as far as the calculation, they'll calculate the benefit, the death PIA in the year the person passed away, and then apply any cost of living increases that have happened since then. But then the surviving spouse, it's based on their circumstance when they apply.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
surviving
I think-
spouse must be at
But-
least age 60.
Yeah, but no later than full retirement age for the survivor benefit.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Thank you.
Thank you too. Leslie, you're next, Leslie. Okay, we'll go to Adam. You're up, Adam.
Sorry, I'm here. I couldn't unmute myself again.
Okay, Leslie, go for it.
Just a quick question, and it's about earnings record. I have a client who has worked essentially, we think 35 years, but like kind of in the middle, he's 66 now, and he's not yet full retirement age. He's about 6 months from that. But in the middle, like in the 90s, he didn't have earned income for about 7 years. He just had, real estate, rental type income. So those numbers would be zeros. Is that correct?
Yeah, normally rental income doesn't count as earned income, so he's not paying Social Security tax on that.
So how would his benefit be calculated? And if he had 35 other years, would he not have any zeros factored in?
Yeah, it's not the last 35 years, it's your highest 35 years. So they would pass over those if he had otherwise had 35 years of earnings. If he only had 33 years of earnings, then he'd have 2 years of zeros in there. So they only use those if they have to.
Is that pretty significant, the factoring in like even 2 years of zeros?
Usually it's not a huge difference. If 2 years might be $20 a month difference or somewhere around there.
Okay.
Of course, it always depends on what some of the earlier years' earnings were. Some of the other 35, or in that case, 33 years. But yeah, it's usually not a huge difference.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Leslie. Adam, you're next, Adam.
No questions here. Thanks, guys. Just listening in.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Travis, you're up, Travis.
Same thing here, guys. All good to go.
Thanks, Travis. How about you, Glenn?
Yes, over 40 years, I've had like 3 people not qualify for Part A. A spouse that never worked, or someone who never worked, never married, or a spouse who's done the same. I've got one now. She's 3/4 short of 40. She's 65. She's on her husband's insurance, which is okay, but he's 12 years younger. So for her to get Part A on his, does he have to be 65? Is that correct?
62.
He only has to be 62.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my question, is whether it's 65 or 62, because if he retires at 62, then she'll be able to collect off of his record Medicare's A without having to pay for it.
Well, even if he doesn't retire, is when he hits 62, if he's still working, she can still get the Part A premium free.
Okay, that was the question. I was worried about them being in that another person in that situation having to pay for Part A.
Put her to work, have her earn 3/4.
Well, that's what I suggested, because it probably would be better for her to be on Medicare than his group coverage. But what's the quarter rate that she has to make? How much per quarter?
What is it, Mark? 17 something?
Yeah, let's call it 2,000
1770, something like
Yeah,
that.
1,800, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is she can get premium Part A, and because she's between 30 and 39 credits, it's not as much. Premium Part A, I think, is right around 500. It's a little under like 495 or something. And I think the reduced amount, because you have over 30 credits, is around 275. If she can afford that.
Helps a little bit, but okay, thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. Jim, let's award a couple of gift cards, guy. Pick two numbers between 1 and 35.
3 and 24.
Okay, I'm going to go backwards. Tanya, you're winner of a gift card, Tanya.
Yay, thank you.
And Gary, you are too. Gary produces. So folks, Tanya and Gary, you know the drill. Send me an email, mkiner@mypremierplan.com, because believe me, I won't remember. So send me an email and my son Aaron will send you $50 gift cards. Okay, we will move on to Glenn. Hi, Glenn. I don't think I got to you yet, Glenn. Go for it. Maybe I did. Okay. Tanya, though. You're next, Tanya.
Okay, cool. Just kind of going off of the disability questions with children who are under 18, filing off of a parent's record. At whatever point in time that they may be able to live on their own, does that carry with them that disability, the SSI that they may have had as if they were also disabled as a child?
Yeah, they don't have to live with their parent to be eligible for the benefit off of their work record. If they're able to live on their own, that's fine. The only thing they don't want to do is get married. That would terminate the childhood disability benefit, unless they marry another person on the CDB benefits. But they can live elsewhere and still receive the benefit.
Okay, and does that end at a certain age or no? As long as they still have like if it's a lifelong disability, that could carry with them throughout their life?
Yeah, they would receive it the rest of their life then.
Okay, all right, just curious. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
And I
Tanya.
guess if that
go ahead.
primary person dies, like the father in this case, and the mother's not working because she's also on disability, is there an increase in terms of, well, it wouldn't carry over for the child, I guess, for survival benefits?
No,
It
the
would just
child will
stay-
continue. The payment in a life case where the parent is still alive, it's 50% of the PIA. If that parent passes away, the child benefit would increase to 75% of the PIA. So they do see a little bit of an increase.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Thanks. Ethan, you're next, Ethan.
Nope, just listening in today. Thanks, guys.
Okay, last question from Luke. Luke, you're next.
Same as Ethan, just listening in. Thank you.
All right, folks. You all did really well. You asked us lots of questions, which we're excited about. It's 10:59. So we will end today's open forum. I don't have any others on the schedule currently, but I will put them on and you will hopefully receive our newsletters. Jim, any final comments?
Not just, thanks for all the questions. There were some good ones.
Jim, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And everybody else also. Bye, everybody. See you later.
See ya. Bye.